Welcome to Tech Bites and News, your personal generative AI podcast. Today we're diving deep into a truly epic tale of Chumby 8 kernel upgrading and a 100% CPU usage mystery. It's a roller coaster.
A Chumby 8? Is that a thing? Sounds like a wild ride already. So what's the main problem?
Our hero, Doug, upgraded his Chumby 8's ancient 2.6.28 kernel to a spiffy 6.x version. Sounds simple, right? Wrong! His CPU usage was pegged at 100%.
Whoa! Always 100%? That's concerning. Like, my computer's on fire concerning.
Exactly. First, he tried the obvious, checking drivers. Maybe a rogue driver was hogging the CPU. No dice.
So it wasn't a runaway process? I always suspect runaway processes first. It's my go-to.
Nope. He even tested an older 3.13 kernel, and same problem. This ruled out recent changes, you see. Then he used kernel profiling, a super cool technique, and found that "default idle call" was using most of the time. Seems normal, right?
I see. So the CPU was idling, but "top" was lying?
Precisely. The mystery deepened. He traced "default idle call" all the way down to "CPU mohawk do underscore idle". It's a low-level function that puts the CPU to sleep. Turns out, it was almost identical in both the old and new kernels.
So the problem wasn't in the idle function itself? That's a curveball.
Yep, a real head-scratcher. He then analyzed how "top" calculates CPU usage. It reads "/proc/stat", which contains CPU time information in ticks. Clever.
"/proc/stat". Right. That's where the OS keeps track of all that stuff. So he checked the idle counter's increment?
Exactly. On his desktop, the idle count increased normally, but on the Chumby, it barely budged. The idle counter wasn't updating correctly. Top was seeing almost no idle time, hence the 100% usage.
Aha! So the problem wasn't the CPU idling, but the reporting of the idle time. A subtle but crucial difference.
You got it. He traced it back to the kernel's clock source, which gets the time from the hardware timer. The code was using a capture register, but it wasn't waiting long enough after triggering the capture. Metastability.
Metastability? Sounds fancy. What does that even mean?
It means that reading the register too quickly can give you a wrong value. The fix was simple, adding a small delay. He even submitted a patch to the Linux kernel.
Wow, that's amazing. From a quirky Chumby problem to a kernel patch? That's a serious accomplishment.
Absolutely. And the moral of the story? Sometimes, the simplest problems have the most complex solutions. And sometimes, the solution is a kernel patch. Thanks for joining us on Tech Bites and News. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.